Shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kwadash, and double honor to the Apostle Els, the great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Brothers and sisters, it's Brother Malak, and I'm back with another lesson to feed the sheeps of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. And Lord's will you be edified during this lesson. So I just want to do this short little lesson on basically, dealing with the flesh. Because every one of us is in this truth is going to deal, with this flesh, man. We're not going to be able to be perfect at the end of the day, being in this flesh. That's the main reason. And also, we're in captivity. So we can't be perfect, with the Most High, but we could try to do what's right, And that's what we're doing. By us doing these teachings, trying to keep the laws to the best of our ability. And, just trying to, just stay, locked into the ministry. Instead of just letting our flesh just, dictate us, having us all messed up. Nah, man. End of the day, man, being in this truth is like, it's a battle. It's a spiritual battle that we're in, because we're going to deal with all type of stuff. Satan, demons, the flesh, all type of things will be, coming at us. But, hey, we got to be strong in the Lord. Yahweh Shai. We got to continue to keep praying to those names. Continue to keep fasting as well. Just try to, just keep pushing. Keep teaching the word, pushing the truth. But I'm going to go ahead and get my first scripture. This is Romans chapter 8, verse 8. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High. Right, you can't please the Lord being in the flesh because the flesh is basically what causes you to sin. Because you just in your flesh, then, you just being a sinner, which is considered wicked. Now we all in the flesh. Every single one of us is. Everybody on this earth is in the flesh, Nobody's immortal. We all in the flesh. We just humans, man. And we mortals. We subject to death. But the thing is, you can't be in your flesh, Just letting your flesh just take control of you. Where you just out here sinning and stuff. No, you can't do that. Because that's not pleasing to the Lord. Now, you going to mess up because you're in the flesh, but just don't let it take control. You know what you need to be doing, trying to understand the spirit. Because it's an ongoing battle with spirit and the flesh. So to keep feeding your spirit, the end of the day with the truth. See, people in the world, they just in their flesh completely, cause they ain't got their truth. So they just sinners and they being wicked. They don't know they don't know what it is to do what's right. In the eyes of the Lord, they don't know. So right, if you just plead in your flesh all the time, the Lord ain't pleased with you. So yeah, don't be in your flesh, man. You just please your flesh, that ain't gonna do nothing but just, seeing you, just gonna end bad for you, because we know what happened to sinners. Lord, he judged them. All right, next scripture. Galatians chapter 5, verse 17. For the flesh lusted against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. So right, man, like I said, the flesh versus the spirit, man, is an ongoing battle. They're against each other. So we can't be perfect because of this flesh. But the spirit is what helps us do what's right. Because the flesh, the flesh is, just sin, It just causes you to sin. So that's why we got to try to stay in the spirit, man. Now, it's easier said than done, but you just got to do it. You just got to get focused, There's a lot of distractions out here. Everybody get distracted. I get distracted sometimes. It happens, But we just got to remember what's important, Try to stay focused, Don't let nothing get in the way of the ministry at the end of the day. That's what it's about. Because the ministry comes first before anything. The ministry never to be put to the side. Always keep the ministry first. That's what we're here for. So yeah, man. Don't let the flesh, take control of you. Now sometimes we gonna be in the flesh, it's gonna happen. We're not perfect at the end of the day, but don't let it mess you up, You gotta try to do what's right in the day. Just don't give in to the lust of the flesh. You need to keep, battling every day. It's gonna be my last scripture. Galatians 5:16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. So right. That's just the main point right there. Walk in the spirit, man. And then you won't, be in your flesh. In that day, we want to be spiritual. We don't want to be carnal. 'Cause being carnal, that's of the flesh, Being spiritual, that's of the spirit. So you see, we want to try to be spiritual out here. Use wisdom. But yeah, that's all I want to do, speak on. The point was made. And Lord's will, you edified. And I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And shalom to the lit. And Lord, when I'm back with another lesson. Keep the faith. Shalom.